This session is actually very, very simple, but very, very effective. We're going to talk about cash flow and capital growth strategies and how I normally tend to deal with my clients. And this is how I structure my own investments as well. At any given time, if let's say you're speaking with an investor or developer, or for that matter, remember you are an investor yourself. So if you are planning this, this applies to you as well, plus as well as to your potential clients. That if let's say your aim is cash flow, let's say you're not making 10 grand a month as a bare minimum, then really your strategy needs to be focused on cash flow. But if you are making 10 grand a month, then you could say, okay, you know what? I am making 10 grand. That's enough money to live a decent life. Now maybe I focus on capital growth. Okay, that's long-term wealth. These are two very, very different strategies to focus on. And you need to have clarity on both, plus a hybrid version of these is also something you can work with, but I'm going to share that so you can see. Okay? So let's say someone comes to you, let's say you're working yourself on cash flow, you're not making 10 grand a month, your main strategy needs to be and can only be, okay, either rent to rent or lease hotels. Okay, it can't be anything else. No other strategy is absolutely out there that's cash flowing fast. Okay, none. Yes, there are, but they're slow cash flowing strategies, not fast cash flowing strategies. You either focus, like I said, on rent to rent model, which can be a service operation or HMO, or a combination or whatever, and or you focus on lease hotels, and that is all you have. Okay, till you get to 10, 20, 30 grand a month, and then you decide to focus on capital growth strategies. Now, I'm gonna share with you about the locations in the country as well, and then I'll share with you how this hybrid version works as well. So if someone wants to focus on capital growth, okay, then your strategy needs to be focused on Southeast, because that's where the main capital growth areas are. If someone wants to maybe get a little bit of capital growth, a little bit of cash flow, then you're looking at Midlands, okay? Because there's a bit of capital appreciation there, but there's a better cash flow than what you get in Southeast. But if someone just wants cash flow, then you're looking at up north, and then obviously within that, you have the strategies, which is rent to rent and lease hotels. Okay? Okay. That is your cash flow and capital growth. However, this applies to you first. So before you can actually recommend a client of yours, okay, what is it that you are looking to do? What do you want to achieve? And they say, okay, my aim is cash flow, because maybe not necessarily I'm making enough money from my job, which is what I come across most. People are in jobs and they don't make, any more than 3-4 grand a month, and they want to get to 10, 20, 30 grand a month. And their strategy needs to be focused on cash flow. Please do not recommend anything else, because what applies is simple rent to rent or lease hotels. Okay. At the same time, if they are on decent salary, let's say they are on 100 grand plus or whatever, and they don't want any more cash flow, then you can potentially recommend them. And like I said, this applies to you first. You can recommend them to focus on the Southeast, and within that, you have all these strategies available. Okay, and the strategies are your rent-to-rent, lease hotels, you have your buy-to-lets, your HMOs, your refurbs, your conversions, your commercial, your planning uplifts and developments and everything else. Okay, all of this, all of these strategies other than rent-to-rent and lease hotels, they are all feminine fee style strategies. Okay, so if you do a deal, you don't make nothing for, let's say you do a refurb deal or conversion or commercial deal, you don't make nothing for quite some time, sometimes 6, 12 months, sometimes 2 years, 3 years. You don't actually get to see the profit. But then once the deal is done, you almost make anywhere between 50 grand all the way up to, depending on how big the deal is, could be, a few millions. Okay. But at the same time, knowing this will help you plan your strategy as well as help others plan their strategy. So if you're surrounded by potential clients or investors, that when you are speaking with them, you can give them clarity based on these strategies on where they need to actually focus. Okay, like I said, I come across probably 8 out of 10 people that I speak with. They need to focus on cash flow, and their strategy can't be anything else, rather, except rent to rent and lease hotels. Please, 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 if you are doing sourcing, keep it a side hustle. It's not a fast cash flowing strategy. Yes, it pays well as long as you know what you're doing and you are good at sales, you know how to create structures in place, then you're good to go. Otherwise, please keep it a side hustle. Unless you have practiced in a sales environment for at least 5 to 10 years of your life, yes, you can go ahead and spend more time on that, invest more time on that. But if you are not good at sales, please do not focus on or invest too much time into sourcing. It will not pay you off. You look back and think, oh, I've spent 12 months and I've only maybe done 2 deals. Okay, it's a very, very tough market. People change their mind very quickly. If you retain them and you don't pay their retainer back, they complain. There's all sorts of problems with sourcing. I come across a lot of people in the group asking me this. I literally had to tell 2 people literally this week to invest less time on sourcing and more on cash flowing strategies, because they're actually doing it the wrong way. They're actually focusing on, sourcing and, BRR strategy, while their focus needs to be really cash flow, because they're not making that kind of money. Okay, please raise your hand if you're not clear about what I'm saying, because this is really, really important. Okay, if you are not making 10 grand a month as a bare minimum, you cannot focus on anything else except rent to rent and or lease hotels. Okay, like you should not be spending any time on anything else. Okay, yes, you can do maybe half an hour a day on development deals or sourcing deals or whatever, but you can't spend any more time on anything else. You'll be literally wasting your time looking back and thinking, what the hell is happening? Okay, like I said, you need to be really heavily sales skilled if you want to focus any more time on that. Okay, and if you are, please raise your hand. I'll actually hire you full time, okay, to source properties for me. But go ahead, John, go ahead.
I can do that. I can find deals, I can package them, and I can sell it to you, because the numbers will be there that will be profitable for you.
We'll discuss this, I promise you. Okay, we'll discuss this in the coming weeks and months. Okay, but yeah, this is, you really need to, I mean, like I said, I do come across a lot of people that I speak with, as well as people in the group that I've been training, and they don't have enough clarity on where they need to focus in the first place. And that kind of brought me to a point where I was like, okay, I need to do this session, and I need to ask everyone, if you're familiar with rent-to-rent model completely, as in the sense, do you know how to find properties? Do you know how to, negotiate these deals? Do you have a spreadsheet you can go and take it as a toolbox to be able to negotiate a deal with a landlord or an agent? Do you have the tools available to go and negotiate these lease hotels? Okay, are you aware of all the points that you need to cover before you take on any of these deals? That's the questions I need to ask. And obviously from then on, I can ask you, same applies to, BRR deals, development deals, conversion deals, planning uplifts. Are you familiar with all of these strategies, how to find these deals, how to negotiate? How do you have the toolkit in front of you to be able to negotiate, how to analyze these deals? I thought I'm going to actually go and ask everyone, because if you don't, you still haven't even covered the basics of being in property business in the first place, and that will make your life only more difficult and not easy. John, any questions? Can you analyze a development deal if I was to give you one?
I think I can.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I was expecting that.
I think most of the strategies you mentioned I've covered, so I'm pretty happy with them. I'm not too happy with rent to rent. What do you think should be the net profit out of the back of a rent to rent of a house?
So think of it this way. I've seen rent to rents making 500 rand a month. I've seen rent to rent units making 6,000 a month. Okay, 6,000 a month are the ones in Knightsbridge, Mayfair, Chelsea. They can make a lot of money at peak season, like literally one single unit paying you 6,000 pounds. I actually know a girl personally who makes 12,000 pounds at peak season from 2 of her service accommodations in Kensington. Okay, not
Yep.
Kensington, sorry, Knightsbridge. So they can pay anywhere between 500 to, depending on the location, 5,000-6,000 a unit. If you have, let's say, 20 units, and if you're making 5 grand, that's 10 grand a month. If you have 20 units in central London, you could walk away with 100 grand a month profit in your pocket. But obviously, it comes with its own risk. If something goes wrong, flights cancelled, you could be paying 10 grand a month in rental and not making any money out of it. So it comes with its own risk. But at the same time, they can be very, very profitable, depending on the location you do. Even if you do something up north, minimum each unit you need to make is at least 500. Otherwise, you should not be taking it. Okay.
Yep.
With Lease Hotels that you're looking at, I could automate this hotel and still make 20-30 grand a year, maybe barely working like an hour a week. Okay, and that's answering emergency calls and nothing else. Okay, so if I have, let's say, 20 of these or similar or a bigger size or whatever, I could be making, you know, £500,000 or 400 grand or 500 grand a year on autopilot, most of it, by mind you. And that is the strategy that we are working on. Okay. Again, aim is cash flow. That's exactly the reason it brings me to this location. Exactly the reason for the strategy. Either it works or it doesn't work, or how effective it's going to work. I think it's not about if it work or it's not. How effectively it will work will depend on a few factors. But from where I see it now, it's going to work really well. Like I said, we're taking on a few more. But at the same time, you know, if someone has got the money, let's say someone's got 100 grand plus, they can potentially focus on a BRR deal. They can pay off really well. You invest 100 grand, you make 60-70% on a deal. You could walk away with 60-70 grand a year. And if you do like 6-7 of those, you could walk away with £500,000. And they're not very difficult to do. Once you get in the momentum and the flow, they are not very difficult to do. Okay, you bring a builder in, you have a reliable builder, you have a reliable team. All you got to do is find the money, find the deal, and get the team to work on it. That's all it is. Okay, and then obviously you have a broker that actually puts on the work to refinance these. They can be very, very simple if you can create the momentum. Again, that's not a strategy that we are focused on at this moment of time. We may be in the future, but not at the moment. If I do come across a decent BRR deal, I always take it. I don't leave it. But that's not the strategy that we are focused on. Again, the two strategies that we are focused on, so you all know, planning uplifts and lease hotels at the moment. This might change in the near future, depending on the circumstances, external and internal. But that's the two strategies that we are focused on. If you observe, these two strategies are completely different from each other. One is cash flowing, and the other one is pure cash, big chunks of profit. Okay, and that is the way I go. If you want to go in the same direction, be my guest. I'd be more than happy to guide you every step of the way. But that is what you need to focus on. I'm actually going to ask everyone if you have clarity on all these strategies in terms of how to find these deals, how to negotiate, negotiation tool in terms of, do you have the spreadsheet to be able to negotiate these deals? Do you know how to analyze them? Do you know how to get them over the line, make them profitable, and so on? So Shelley, my question to you, because I can see you next after John. Any questions on any of these that I just asked? Not sure if you can hear me. Okay, any questions?
Hi, Dad. No questions really. I mean, with the analysis, I think for me it's more of the practice and going over the videos. I have listened to the videos, but it's still, I think because I've not just done one, it's still a bit confusing in terms of the development deals. Most of the other ones I'm pretty much, but yeah, appraising the deals.
Okay.
Rent to rent, I'm okay. BRL, I'm kind of okay, but I think development, you know, conversions and stuff are still a bit quite high up there.
I'm happy to take you through it. In fact, we've done, between me and Jassim and other stuff that we've done, plus the videos that are available of Nimbus Maps, there is quite a bit there. But I still feel, if you feel that there's a need for me to do another session, I'll be more than happy.
Yes, please. I think so. I think because, yeah, Yeah, because I see them. I mean, I see some deals, and I'm like, I'm not even sure, how, whether it's worth even pursuing it. If they say yes, what do I offer them? And that's mainly with the development and the larger deals, really.
That's because unless you cannot appraise a deal on a spreadsheet, you cannot have the tools to negotiate.
Yeah.
That spreadsheet appraisal is your tool to not just analyze, but negotiate. That becomes like your negotiation tool, because then you can show them, okay, this is what the GDV is, comparables, this is what it's going to cost me, build, finance, professional fees, all of that. And eventually you work backwards the value of the land or the asset that you're looking at. And then you can show them, look, this is what your value of your asset is. And that becomes your negotiation power. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you have any spreadsheets then? Do we have any spreadsheets?
We have quite a few, yes. Do message me and I'll be more than happy to share with you a few.
Okay. Maybe that's what is missing, because I think development I haven't actually looked into at all before coming to Penn. So maybe that's what it is. All right, then. Thank you.
Vital skill. If you are walking around and you see a property, either it's a BRR deal, a very property with a large garden, if you see a vacant office that can be potentially converted into residential, if you see a land piece, you need to be able to stand like literally standing there within 5 minutes, be able to analyze most of the headline numbers. And that's how you can make a profit. If you cannot standing there within 5 minutes, analyze the basics, the headline numbers of a deal, you're not going to get anywhere, because there is so many people looking at that asset that by the time you go home and spend a full day analyzing the deal, you've got people much faster than that who will go and take that deal by the way.
Right.
Okay. So you need to get to that point, and it is not very difficult. Okay. Once you get a gist of it, it becomes a lot more easier. Okay.
Right.
So like I said, there are quite a few videos. So have a look at the headings, watch them, but then I'd be more than happy to do a separate session anyway. Okay.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, a separate session would be great, and maybe access to the spreadsheets as well. I'll send you a message.
Yes, send me a message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer, any questions?
I think for me, it's just understanding how the spreadsheet work. So definitely, I'd appreciate an example.
Okay. We'll do another session between me and Jassim. Let's do it that way. That would be proper.
Okay.
Are you familiar with other strategies, Jennifer?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am.
If I was to give you any of these deals, rent-to-rent deals, lease, hotel deals, BRR deal, a HMO conversion deal, can you analyze them?
Analyze, I'm not sure, but I do understand the strategy of it.
You need
Analyzing.
to be able to analyze. You need to be able to analyze. Okay, so maybe I will do a separate session analyzing multiple kinds of deals, allowing you to see how we look at them.
Okay, but with examples, please. And
we can do that.
I'm visual, so
we can do that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Martin, any questions?
I think I'm pretty much on the same page.
Sorry, Martin, your voice is a bit low.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. What I was saying was I'm pretty much on the same page as the ladies there. Pinning down the spreadsheets and analyzing deals. It would be something that would be really beneficial.
So one question I'd like to ask everyone is, including Martin yourself, is have you watched all the previous training videos? The reason for that is, I think from the sessions that we've done previously that are pre-recorded, you can learn, I think, at least 99%, if not 100% of what we are talking about. Okay, that's analyzing any kind of deal that is either a development deal, a conversion deal, a HMO deal, a BRR deal, a rent-to-rent deal, in fact, even a hotel deal. I have pretty much covered all of these strategies in multiple sessions throughout. So you do need to go and watch those videos if you haven't. Like I said, I'm more than happy to do another session on it, but you do need to go and watch those, because every time you do a session, you'll realize, okay, I missed that part or I missed this part, because there's always more to it that we can always, we can cover sometimes in a single session. Okay. So I request everyone to do go and check out the previous recorded videos. make a spreadsheet, keep ticking that, okay, I watched video number 13 or 14 or whatever, and then at least you have a track of the trainings that we've done and the ones you have watched already, and that you don't necessarily need to go back to them, but please do if you have done that so far, okay?
Jack, by chance, do you have some sort of template that we could utilize?
We have templates for everything. All you got to do is ask.
Cool.
All you got to do is ask. We have templates for BRRDs, we have templates for development deals, we have templates for HMO conversions, we have templates for rent-to-rent deals, we have templates for hotels, we have templates for everything that I can think of, all in our Drive inbox. I can find you within minutes, okay? All you got to do is ask me, okay? So if you're looking for any of these templates, email to me asking, and either myself or one of my team members will get that across to you, okay? Suraj, any questions? Not sure if you can hear me. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, that's today's session.
No, thank you, Jack. No questions.
No questions. So Suraj, if I was to give you a development deal, do you think you can analyze it, appraise it fully?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, should be okay.
Should be okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. But if you guys want templates, like I said, I have templates all day long, all sorts of templates. Like I said, I've pretty much covered analyzing most of the deals in the previous sessions. You do need to go and watch them, but I'd be more than happy to do another session. I will do that probably with Jassim because he is a bit more technical as well, and he's good with spreadsheets. I am more of a, look at this deal, and I'll just do numbers in my head, and I'll then put them on the spreadsheet, while Jassim is a bit more technical, and he can make better spreadsheets than I do, okay? So I guess this is today's session.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Can I ask a couple of questions? You
Yes,
mentioned hotels. Do you prefer lease hotels over purchase hotels?
Yes.
Okay. How long do you take the lease for?
I've been taking between 5 to 10 years leases.
And how many beds do you look for if you're beginning?
I would look for something that can be fully automated. So we're looking at another one, which is a 21 bedder. It can be fully automated. We're looking at another one, 16 bed, fully automated. When I say fully automated, remember, nothing is ever fully automated, right? You always have to deal with emergencies. You all have to answer calls every now and then. But 99, or depending on a few factors, 95% can be automated. But I would only take on any that can be fully automated and does not have to depend on me.
So are you looking for a hotel that's fully functional, keeping the staff on? Do you keep the staff that's already there?
In most cases, yes, depending on how their employment agreements are structured. If their employment agreements are structured in a way where you promise them X number of hours, then no. Then I would just take the hotel and not take the staff.
Okay. And how do you work out your rental that you should agree on the lease?
It all depends on factors. So I would normally analyze the deal from the back to the front. So you first need to see how much revenue you can generate. Then you go, okay, how much are the expenses? And then that allows you to work out the rent you can potentially pay. Okay. In most cases, the rent that the landlord is going to ask is what they're going to stick to. They're not going to reduce much. Okay. They may reduce a little bit, but not much. And if that means that the hotel is less profitable, then you pull away and you don't take it. If it's profitable, you take it. So it all depends on how profitable it can potentially be.
Okay. You mentioned about Nimbus Maps. You have a partnership with them. What
Yes.
rate do we pay for their top end, including all the fancy bells and whistles at the?
I think it's like $4,000 plus, close to just shy of $5,000 for all the extras that they do these days.
That's per year.
Per year.
Okay. Do you use EIG?
What is EIG? Remind me.
It is a collection of auction houses up and down the country, all put onto one website.
I came across EIG quite some time ago. I don't use them, but I think last time I checked, they were worth looking at. but I don't use them.
Okay. And how is it?
Very skeptical of auction properties personally. And not
Right.
that you can't make a profit, you can. It's just that I'm personally skeptical.
Okay. What about the pen coin? The altcoin?
That's in the pipeline. That's in the pipeline. I've been speaking with my tech team even today on it.
Yeah.
That's definitely coming. It may take
Okay.
1, 2, 3 years. I know someone has taken 4 years of planning before they launched. They're launching something in April, and they're going to be partners as well. So they're actually going to come as collaborators with us. But they're not doing a crypto, but they're more like tokenizing property, which is a great platform. It's called Brick Trade. We are going into collaboration with them.
Okay. That's all I need.
Thank you, John. Great questions. But anyone else has any questions? Great
No,
stuff.
no, I'm fine. Thank you.
Great stuff. Have an absolutely amazing day, and I'll see you all very, very soon.
Happy
Laria,
birthday.
you okay?
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
All
Brilliant.
good, Jack,
Thanks a lot.
thanks.
I'm not sure when you joined.